Hey, my name is Ralph and I'm with Flexfilm, and in this video I'm going to show you a series of steps not to damage your hard coat. A lot of window tinters don't realize that when they do dry shrink, and in this one we've used a soap method, we've already set the window up. This is a ceramic window film, but when you do dry shrinking, you have a tendency to damage the hard coat. It's typically not as noticeable with other types of film technologies. It's not as noticeable on back windows after you install them. It's mainly noticeable on front windshields with the more clear films like ceramic. There's a reason for that. The number one reason is because people look through front windshields and they notice anything. You know, they're very picky about front windshields because that's the one they see through every day. But when you distort a hard coat, it gives it a grainy or a sandpaper type texture, like a 400 or 600 grit, and that's usually going to happen on medium to very difficult windows. The initial shrinking doesn't damage hard coat, but when you put a torch or you use a heat gun and you get on a medium or difficult window and you start getting toward the edges, you start distorting the hard coat, like in the corners. Okay, I'm going to show you a method that when you have a window film, doesn't really matter what it is, and you know, maybe you're doing a front windshield in particular or even a back window, how you can prevent from distorting the hard coat using a torch or a heat gun. In this demonstration, I'm going to use a heat gun. So I'm going to get my heat gun and get it warmed up. Here's the steps that I'm going to do here. Got a fly going around here. In a real shop, guys. We're going to do what we call a knockdown phase. Now, in a knockdown phase, all I'm going to do is I'm not going to use a hard card, or I could use a glove, but I'm going to shrink about 80% or 85% of the fingers. All I'm trying to do is generally like wrinkle everything up and get it conforming to the glass. So this way I don't put too much heat on anything, but I just start my initial molding phase. You know, and my film should be able to handle, or any film should be able to handle this type of heat right here. Because I'm just being real careful. I'm not hammering down on anything. I'm just trying to overall wrinkle the film, you know, just like I am. I'm not just getting it to lay down. That's why I call it the knockdown phase. I'm just knocking it down. I'm not trying to do a final here. See how I'm just kind of getting it wrinkly? I'm not putting heat in, I'm not blasting heat on any one part of the film. Okay, I'm going to continue this strategy on the top. See how fast I move the heat gun tip back and forth? Very critical that we're just knocking it down, nothing fancy. This is not a final shrink. You're going to see what I'm going to do in the next steps. I picked this window because I can get all the steps in and not have to take so long to do the video. You could even fast forward this video if you want to until I get to the next step. But that's all I'm doing is just knocking it down, not smoothing it out. So I'm not trying to put too much heat anywhere. I generally shrink more in the corners. Okay, we run to the other side. I've already been making videos with this window, so some of this has already been shrunk. I do apologize. Trying to cover a lot of ground today with some more cool videos for you guys. This won't take but just another few seconds. I got some ivory soap on underneath of this film. Some people like dryer sheets, baby powder. Any of that stuff would work. Okay, this is called the knockdown phase. So I'm almost done. Okay, that's the knockdown phase. Now what do we do next? This is where the magic comes in. This is how we're gonna guarantee ourselves not to further or damage this hard coat. We call this a wet check. We're gonna lift the film up. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna do a wet check. We're gonna take our slip solution. This could be baby shampoo, Dawn, you know, whatever you like to use. I probably have a Slip X in mine today. That's not one of our products. Okay, I'm gonna come to the other side and continue the wet check. Okay, by putting water under the film, See, I'm about to do some of the most, the most difficult shrinking on a more difficult window when I come to the end. So by putting water under the film, I'm going to assure myself that I'm not going to heat the hard coat up too hot in a dry heating fashion. It's the water under the film is going to act like a coolant, like a built-in radiator, so that we can get the shrinking done, but we will resist damaging the hard coat. Now I know that my film won't lay down completely, but we're gonna try to get it to lay down the best we can, and then we're gonna come back and shrink, obviously, what's necessary to finish the job. And then once we do that, we have no more distortion problems. So let's just kind of finish the wet check out. And I'm not gonna go over it too I don't wanna pinch anything or crease anything permanently, so I'm gonna be real careful because I know I still got shrinking to do. Okay. Here we go. Now I can focus on what's really got to be done to finish this window out. And all I'm basically going to do is just the edges. And you know what? You could just about hammer down. I'm trying to find my heat gun. Where'd I lay it? Right here. You can just about hammer down on the rest of this and finish it out without worrying about damaging the hard coat. That's how you do it. Just go around the edges, make it all lay down flat. That water underneath the film is keeping it from overheating, usually at the very end. Let's go around to the other side. And that's how you do it. This film is shrunk. We didn't put excessive heat on it because we did the knockdown phase. Then we did a wet check. And then we drove it home and shrunk all the little fingers that were left behind with water underneath the film so that we would not further or damage the hard coat on the film, especially on ceramics. And this is how you do it, folks. These are the steps. And as the windows get more curved and more difficult, these techniques will even help you even more. Thanks for watching.